Most practitioners of green building are familiar with this Venn diagram that represents the triple bottom line of sustainability. Essentially a balance between environmental sustainability, economic sustainability, and social sustainability. Now, I'd like to propose that this diagram is actually flawed. And I think it's flawed for several reasons. First, it allows us to pretend that there is such a thing as environmental or economic or social sustainability, when in reality, as Julian Adjuman would say, there's just sustainability. There is no such thing as a specific kind of sustainability. Something either is or it is not sustainable. The diagram, to me, is also flawed because it suggests that it's possible for something to exist only in one or two of these circles. And that the typical use of the diagram, it tries to aim for producing things that land in this magic tiny circle right here in the center of the diagram. Finally, it implies that because all three circles are equal in size, that each of these arenas has equal importance. And I think a more accurate diagram that would truly represent the nature of sustainability looks something more like this. In this diagram, there are no qualifiers, first of all. What you see is that we have a series of nested systems. So there's an economy that is nested within a healthy society, and that society is nested within a healthy environment. So one of those issues that we referenced earlier, wage exploitation, is a term called wage theft, which is essentially the underpayment or non-payment of workers' wages. Now, this can take the form of failure to pay overtime, minimum wage violations, misclassification of employees as contractors rather than employees, illegal deductions in pay, working off of the clock, or in many cases not being paid at all. And this is surprisingly common in the United States, especially among construction and maintenance workers. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, all workers in any U.S. territory have the right to be fairly paid regardless of immigration status. And that's often held over the heads of foreign-born workers. So according to a Southern Poverty Law Center study, they researched and interviewed laborers that were brought in to help clean up after Hurricane Katrina. And 80% of the workers that they interviewed were victims of wage theft while working in New Orleans on the recovery. From gender disparity patterns and infrastructure use, we can shift to look at equity issues in the profession of architecture as a whole. According to a 2012 AIA survey of 2,805 member firms, 49% of architecture students were women, 39% of interns are women, and only 17% of firm principals or partners are women. And this has spurred what's been called the Missing 32% project, asking the profession, what is it that drives women out of architecture, and can we do something to change it?